my iCloud was full. So, okay, I try to get chips for about $1. But I'll be looking for those high quality chips for $1 as opposed to dollar chips. Check out the markdown bins and dented cans. You know, you can really save doing that. If the cost of living increases, perhaps all you'll be able to afford is your rent and your utilities. It's very important to maintain your residence, not to move out into the streets and the cars. If you saw my video about the poor lady living in the car, you can see, I don't know about every place, but San Diego is not very friendly to car dwellers. For one thing, a lot of the car dwellers could cause crime, mischief, trash, drugs. So getting in, like if they want to round you up into one place with, you know, all these not so nice car dwellers, that could be bad. So, you know, and on your utilities, remember, you can turn your utilities off at the breaker switch and then only turn on your refrigerator and whatever else you absolutely have to survive. Or an apartment with no food and no utilities would be better than a car or the streets. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go to the food banks, the pantries, and the churches, and if you can qualify, you're going to get food stamps and you're going to stockpile food, because that's going to help you more than anything while we adjust to the high cost of living. Another thing is they may be eliminating our cars in the future. You know, they're predicting only 20% of the people are going to have houses. How about some of that oceanfront property in Houston or the Midwest? And you know, out here, I told you guys, my mother-in-law's house dropped in half price and has never recovered. So, you know, they're just helping themselves to your equity and your money, and in my case, even your apartment. And there was nothing I could do. And I very well could have ended up like that lady. So, you know, I have a lot of hatred for those people. Okay, so you're in your apartment. You might want to consider a roommate, even a couple people living in the living room rather than ending up on the street. I mean, these would be last resorts. When my ex-husband arranged, he rented the house to use the garage as a storage, and then the guy let people live on the property in trailers and charge them a small fee, and basically his rent was free. So if you have a property, you might consider converting your garage into a little apartment or letting people live in trailers on your property. So those are a few tips on the high cost of living, but what I would suggest is avoid the cars and the street at all costs. I think it's getting very dangerous. And so there was one comment that one of the followers made it up and out of the streets, and I was really, really glad to hear that. What they did here, I think what I saw was they dropped people off from somewhere else in a van here. So, you know, just be very, very careful. And I think one of the best ways, these are pretty good sugar cookies, sugar-free cookies. You're not going to pig out as much on sugar-free cookies. So, you know, be as thrifty as you can now. Build your stockpile in any way you can now. Don't wait, you know, to make sure you have food. And, you know, get the dented cans, get the markdown cans, go to the food bank, get the food stamps. And if you do get the food stamps, I would spend the money right away, as carefully as soon as I got it, and stock my house full of food. I would get all the food stamp money, and then I would go to the churches, and I would go to the food pantries, and I would pile. This one I tried to get my friend. I can see why she didn't want to do it. I really can. It wasn't exactly pleasant, but we don't know. Well, we know the cost of food is going up because we know that the gas is going up, because we know our disputes with Iran and Iraq are going to cause the fuel to go up, which is going to cause the trucking to go up. We know there's been a loss of crops because 20% of the crop producing land is underwater, and a lot of people are minimizing the flooding. And I don't. And then, you know, when the snow starts melting, because it's been icy cold this year, that is gonna. I saw a couple videos where they admitted to some flash flooding, but it's causing a lot of devastation with the population. And so just prepare yourself for the worst at all times, and be very, very careful with your money. This is a 50-cent meal. God bless you all.